Hello and welcome to our daily sketching routine. It is Saturday, February 15th, 2025. Today's topic will be sketching a dragon, which I started yesterday, and I wanted to leave it unfinished enough or sketchy enough so that I can go over my process. Plus there's some things I wanted to refine for today's video. Before we begin, welcome back if you're returning, and welcome if you're new to the channel. I sketch and post every day, and I use timers to stay focused and to build a habit. I started a 10-minute timer just to give an overview of what's going on. I'm going to post a link to yesterday's video, which was about drawing basic animals, which is the skeleton and stuff, and I did that to kind of get into the subject matter of animals. And then I said that I wanted to do like a mythical creature, so that's what I'll work on today, just kind of figuring out like the anatomy part, and that might be helpful or give you some ideas. And like I said, I'm going to define of course it's a mythical creature, so it can look different, but I can talk about sort of just some ideas. So for example, just using the principles, which is basically what this is, from yesterday's video, which was about the animal skeleton, but also coming up with a kind of like a simplified version to sketch the skeletal structure. So I'm just using that, like establishing the spine right here. And then so that's the spine, and then like the tail. And then I thought that the tail could end in kind of some fins for flying. Now obviously there's a lot of dragons that have been designed in movies and whatnot, and I'm not really trying to be that original. I'm not saying that I'm coming up with something that original, but I don't really feel the need to. But I feel like if you just kind of have your own kind of way, your ideas will kind of come out anyway. So that's like the basic sort of spinal structure. And then the other thing was the idea of proportions. So I'm putting the kind of like the ribs right here, and then the pelvis hips. Because I'm using a ballpoint pen, I can be more, I like how it's sort of a blend of pencil and pen, and then I know I can go over it with darker ink. So that's the basics of the proportions. And then after that, now I like my dragons to have some arms. That's just me. I know some just have like the wings be like the arms, I guess, and plus you could have different designs. But yeah, so from here I'm gonna put the hind legs kind of like this, and then so that's sort of the shape of it. Then I'll put the arms right here. Sort of like this. And then the other thing is the wings. So I'm having the wings be attached to the sternum, or this part, like the bones, kind of like a bird basically. I just kind of got that from the sketching birds. And then I think it's gonna go, because it's kind of bat-like, so and I don't really know like the anatomy of a bat, but like basically I have the bone going over here, and then it's gonna fold somewhere up here, and then like kind of like this, and then I feel like it can kind of like bat wings, where it's sort of malleable, fleshy, but then that way it can kind of go like this, like over the body. So it's kind of good to do this draw through, as it's called, because since the wings are kind of more fleshy and not feathers, then I can have like some of the highlights hitting this part, so it looks more fleshy. And then on the other side, the wings are just kind of back here somewhere. So that's the basic layout. And I'm just going to continue using the ballpoint pen. And then as far as, so for today, for example, I wanted to at least get the sketch. So I feel like I've got the sketch, but maybe I can refine it a little bit more, and I'm just going to use the ballpoint pen to do that. Now I do have some questions about like the hands and feet, or like the talons and stuff. So some of this is just coming from the design, which obviously has to do with anatomy. So that's kind of why I wanted to use a ballpoint pen, so that I could just kind of get the design down without worrying too much about the detail. So you can see that even if I don't really know like the details, I can still get the shape. But although it is kind of based on, I did some animal studies, so like after doing the study, then I can do like 80% here, meaning just come up with this. But then it's fun to look up reference, so just for like little details. So for example, like scales and even stuff like lighting. I mean, there's some things that I know I sort of want to have. So for example, I know like the wings will cast some shadow, but for me to get lighting to be like interesting and stuff and dramatic, I tend to just build it up slowly. Now part of it is concept art, so once I have a dragon, then I can play around with the idea. This week has been about world building. Yeah, tomorrow will also be, so this week has been like a world building deep dive. And yeah, the main thing is I mainly wanted to do the daily sketching habit, and also the deep dives, which is just focusing on a topic and sort of leveling up, if you will. And then the other thing is to kind of give you ideas, as far as technique, as far as topics or an approach. So for example, this is the sketch, so I'll kind of keep it at a sketch, but then you can see I'm starting to do the shading part. So yeah, I feel like the wings, they can be kind of flexible, and but like the skin is pretty thick and leathery. So while it is flexible, it's got some bone structure in there too. And then yeah, like probably have shadows. So that's really what I wanted to do today. Hopefully you found this interesting or helpful, and I want to thank you for joining me for our daily sketching routine. If you like these videos, please support the channel. I always appreciate it, and until next time, keep on sketching.